What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be ranking all the coasters I rode at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio.
Could you tell where my head was at when you found me?
Okay, so first let's discuss the coasters I did not go on, either because it was closed or I just did not feel like waiting in line for it. Okay, so the coasters I didn't go on are listed right here. Top Thrill 2, by the way, I'll predict where I think it will go at the end of this video. So, alright, with all that being said, let's hop into the worst one, which is Corkscrew is definitely the worst coaster in the park, and it's no question. I'm starting to get taller, so when I ride these old Aero loopers, the over-the-shoulder restraints, I start to get neck bang. I found it to be worse than the headbanging I got before, and so yeah, this is definitely the worst coaster in the park. Blue Streak is actually a pretty good roller coaster. It feels pretty wrong to put this ride so low, but the rest of these rides at the park are just that good. Overall, I think the best moment in this ride is definitely the first couple of airtime hills before the turnaround. They give Steel Vengeance level ejector airtime. Also, I got like a lift stop on this ride because someone had their phone out, so that was kind of cool. Raptor is an interesting ride for me. To be honest, the only B&M I really like is Great Bear. That's because it's not as intense. These ones that are super intense like the Batman clones, and from what I eventually got on Monto, I bet, I did not like at all. I don't know why, but I just don't like these inverts that try to rip your legs off. Speaking of Raptor though, that last helix is by far the most intense part of the ride for me, which I don't really know I enjoyed that much. Rougarou is actually a pretty underrated ride at the point. It definitely does have a bite to it though. This is actually a good bite, unlike Raptors. I don't know, but I feel like this is just a more modern version of Corkscrew. I feel like what B&M was trying to do when they made their first multi-loopers in the late 90s was just make a more enjoyable version of those old eras. Otherwise, I think this is a great ride that will eventually get relocated or removed within the next 10 years. Gatekeeper was my first ever B&M wing coaster, and I think it was a great one. It got me really excited for the one coming to King's Dominion next year, because that is not that far away from me as this one at Cedar Point. I thought Gatekeeper was going to be a mid-ride though, because people like Taylor Libby from Coaster Studios trash on this ride a lot. My first ride was actually in the front seat, and that first drop on the ride was easily the highlight. I wasn't stapled, and I actually got airtime on the first airtime hill. Valraven is actually a really great ride, and it was the first dive coaster for me too, and I actually really enjoyed this one. The one critique I have with this one is the slow 0G roll at the end. I just didn't really like it. I would think I would prefer it to be fast like the ones on Iron Menace. Great first drop and a great ride otherwise though. The reason why Gemini is so high up is because of its airtime. This is not like that weak floater that you get on Magnum's first hill. This is full-blown ejector airtime. It's like Steel Vengeance airtime. Although I do love this ride, I have two problems with it. One, the line is way too long all the time. The line is always at the entrance when I was there. The only time when you can get on this ride a lot is at the very end of the day. Two, the ride is very fragile. Even if there's a slight drizzle for like 5 minutes, this ride will shut down for an hour and a half. Otherwise, this is a great ride, but not as good as Millennium Force is a very underrated ride, but it's still not perfect. I know there's people out there that will say you have to ride in the front or the back, but I did both, and this still places this low. This is a great ride though, just watch out for the bugs near the front rail. Magnum XL200 is a ride you either love or you hate. I'm definitely on the love side for this ride though. Those last few bunny hills at the very end hurt, but it ends up being fun. I don't really know how to describe it, you just have to experience it for yourself. Maverick is a great roller coaster that has a distinct first and second half, just like a lot of the other Intamin blitzes. This ride paved the way for those great rides like Pantheon, Velocicoaster, and Tutatis. I think this ride is really good, and that first drop is insane in the back. I still prefer I-305 though. This is where I think I'll place Top Thrill 2 based on reviews and what I like from roller coasters. This ride looks like it would definitely place in my top 5. That back spike is huge. Also, I've seen both of the Intamin Strata coasters, but they've been closed on both my visits to the parks. That just proves their reliability. I feel like this is pretty obvious from the start, but this is probably one of, if not the best roller coasters in the world. It has the most airtime on any coaster and is the perfect length for a coaster. The best main element on this ride is definitely the outer bank or the step up into the mid-course. I don't know what it is about that part, but it's just insane. The best thing on the ride is definitely the back seat though. Although front row is great too. If it hasn't been obvious, this ride is my new number 1. El Toro is still number 2 though. Alright, I think that wraps things up, and I'll see you guys next time.